da 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 do 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 do. Testing, testing. Nothing's working again. Good afternoon, world. This is Englishman who lives in Sweden. I hope you can hear me, and I hope you're on. Are you listening to me, world? We've got a mental show coming up today. I'm happy. I'm back in Sweden. Take it away, Robbie. Diet tablets, Robbie. It's making you go blind. There used to be something else that made people go blind. You can't beat a bit of a RW, can you? What a fella he is. Hey, Nebworth. What a memory. All I can say. Well, welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio. Oh, I'm back in Sweden, and I feel awesome. It's wonderful. With my kids all the time, I've started treatment for my MS. A big shout out to all the warriors, the MS warriors out there. And now listen, right. 20,000 documents leaked about Epstein and his grubby associates, who include Donald J. Trump and Tony Blair. I don't think anyone's surprised about Blair. I'm surprised about Trump, but then I'm not again. In Sweden, they can take your car or motorbike or your Rolex or blah, blah, blah if you don't have a job. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. They've gone 360 fascist in my country where I live for the last 4 decades and where all my children live and where we're growing up, and I'm in the middle of a forest now. It's awesome in my new home. But I work abroad mainly. So, I've got a nice little car and I've got a nice home and I've got a Rolex and a Breitling, and what they're going to do? Take it off me because I don't have an income in Sweden? What they're doing apparently is, we'll get back to that. I'm just going to tell you what's in the show. Right? I know for a fact that a bomb went off 2 nights ago in Hoggines and it didn't even make the news. A house was also burnt down opposite one of my daughter's best friends, and it was started by an arsonist. Didn't make the news. Why? Zelensky and his mates have been caught red-handed with $100 million in backhanders, and Starmer and Ulf Kristersson still say, let's give him more money. We need it for the war. The fact is they're getting hammered. Keir Starmer, by the way, is dead in the water. Angie from the council estate's back. She's not paid a tax bill, and that surprises me because apparently she's been turning tricks at a tenner a pop. Who'll pay £10 for that? Not me. Oh, I don't know. Net zero. That's finished because now we're going into a new ice age. It's amazing, isn't it? Oh, my God. We've got so much to get through today. I mean, so much that it's mental. And it's really great to be in Sweden and broadcasting from Sweden. And because we're in Sweden, I'm going to start off with one of my favourite bands. Here's a little bit of Europe. Welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio, guys. With the Englishman in Sweden, actually in Sweden. Hey, hur mår ni? Mår ni bra? Take it away, Joey Tempest. Voice of an angel.
Season lights go down.
Just love Joey Tempest's voice. I love Europe, full stop. I'm having a bit of a freak out Swedish moment because I'm back here. It's great. I'm really loving being back here. Well, listen, the things you miss when you're not in the country of origin that you're talking about, which is something that a lot of these creators, content creators and influencers miss, because they're not actually in the country and they're spouting off about bombs going off every day. They're spouting off about Sweden being second ranked for rape, which it's lost its place to the United Kingdom over the past 3 or 4 years now. Because why? Yes, they're letting all of these undesirables in. And Shabuba Mabuba, she's giving it large about they're going to deport. It's just like, and everyone's talking about Maloney in Italy. Look what she's done in Italy. The rape figures haven't gone down. The actual numbers of people coming hasn't gone down. She's just been very, very clever and issued 1 million visas to the third world and Africa. Figure that one out. But listen, here in Europe, because I'm in Europe, Temu, yeah, you know, our favourite, where we all buy something from. I know my sound card is from Temu, and some of my stage clothes are from Temu, because I wear them 6 nights a week and they wear out, and I'd rather pay 30 or 40 quid from Temu than 3,000 or 4,000 Swedish krona from a tailor for a tiger skin jacket, which I know I'm going to cob away at the end of the season, which is what I do regularly. Now, Ursula van Trop and Ulf Kristersson, that's the little midget who's the Prime Minister of Sweden, they've decided it's time to ban Temu and other sites like Temu for our own sakes, because the quality isn't good. So he did this on TikTok. Ulf Kristersson, that is the Prime Minister of Sweden, he announced this on TikTok. So I wrote to him on TikTok and I said, Mr. Kristersson, so what you're telling us, we can't buy crap from China cheap, but we can buy crap manufactured in Europe expensive. Is that what you're telling us? And surprise, surprise, he hasn't answered me. It does not surprise me. Not at all. But we've got so much to get through, which we will get to. But I'm going to have a little musical interlude first while I get myself all settled down and ready for one of my favourite movies, Rocky IV, Dear Survivor, Burning Heart. Welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio. With me, the Englishman in Sweden, Michael Vick. Hope you're all okay.
It's a primitive clash, pitting years of frustration. Bravely we hope against all hope. There is so much at stake. Seems our freedom's up against the ropes. Does the crowd understand? Is it east versus west? Or man against man? Can any nation stand alone? In the burning
awesome soundtrack, and I don't know if we're all being set up and with all this AI. I mean, I've seen somewhere that it's making Rocky 7. I mean, hey, I mean, somebody tell me that's not true. For Christ's sake, tell me that's not true. Sylvester Stallone doesn't need the money, even though he's been bankrupt 3 times. But, I mean, Rocky 7, and he's fighting. I don't know he's fighting, but I just can't imagine seeing him in a ring now. But that's by the by. But you know what, right? Here in Sweden now, they really have. They've gone pear-shaped. They've gone. I don't know what's happened to them. First of all, on the borders, they're checking everybody. When my ex-wife gracefully picked me up with Luna, my youngest daughter, at Copenhagen Airport because she was a little bit apprehensive about me getting my little girl, 4-legged little girl, that's Lily. She was a bit worried I wouldn't be getting her into the country because the Danes have gone mental when it comes to dogs. They're turning people back at borders and saying you can't enter our country if you've got what they class as a dangerous dog. They euthanised so many dogs recently. I was originally flying into Stockholm, and then they changed the flight, and I had no option but to fly into Copenhagen. And thankfully, the customs run a break. I landed at like 10:15 at night, and I went straight through customs with Lily. I mean, I got checked in at Larnaca, and when I were at Larnaca, there was an earthquake. Yeah, there was an earthquake, or there were 7 earthquakes last Wednesday, and one of them struck when I was at Larnaca Airport. But they checked the rabies shots and they do all what they're supposed to do. So I knew I wasn't travelling with a dog that was any type of peril for any other animal. And Denmark have started this procedure where they're kicking people out for no reason, and they let in so many people under 10 years that it's like they're only 5.5 million people, so they've learnt a lesson very severely. But that was okay. I got him. My ex-wife got me, and Luna were in the car, and Lily was all happy and delighted to fresh air. It's not 40 degrees or whatever. And we drove over the bridge between Copenhagen and Malmo, and we got stopped by customs there. And fair enough, customs are stopping everybody. And this is where they're stopping people. They're checking up their wealth against the type of cars they're driving, for example. And my ex drives a beautiful new XC60, and they'd obviously done a number plate check and checked up on with Skatteforvaltning, the tax authorities, that she's got a good income, and they weren't bothered about that. They looked at Lily, they scanned a chip in her neck, and they were fine about it. They weren't bothered about seeing my passport or anything, and we came straight in. So I was quite happy about that because I had got a very nice watch on my arm, and I didn't know at the time. I didn't know until the last couple of days that they're actually stopping people, taking the cars off them and leaving them to get on by themselves. Now, I'm all for making people pay the fair share. I really am, and I believe that when you've paid your fair share, you should be able to get something back out the system. That's just my humble opinion. But it's got to a point now where if you're not working, right, you might have had a job, you might have had a good job, you might have saved money, and you bought yourself a nice Porsche, for example. Then you lose your work and your tax declaration doesn't match the cost of that car. Unless you can prove where the money came from for the car, they're classing you now as a criminal in Sweden, and bingo, bush, bang, boff, your Porsche's gone. Now, this is all tying in to digital ID, because in Sweden we've got Bank ID, which is a network, it's a framework very easily which can accommodate digital ID, which I think is the way the whole of Europe's going. You know, banning Temu, for example, they want to control every penny that you're spending. They want to know where the money's going. And I mean, everybody I know buys stuff. It might be crap, but everybody buys stuff off Temu on these sites in China. Sometimes it turns up 3 sizes too big. Sometimes it turns up three sizes too small. Sometimes a totally wrong thing comes. But that's part of the game, isn't it? But I'm going to tell you something now, right, about this is pretty frightening, right? There's a guy called Runa Sogard. Is pretty on point with what's happening with Sweden and the United Kingdom. When I come back, I'm going to talk in depth about a file he sent me, which is entitled "They've Stopped Pretending in Their Own Words," and this is from the World Economic Forum about what they've planned for Europe. Ursula von der Trop, she's mentioned many times, as are other European leaders, and when I get back I'm going to talk about that. But I'm going to play you a tune now about all of us working class people who are being screwed royally. We're being turned over, we're being grifted by all of our governments. Here's a guy called Jimmy Barnes, mega famous in Australia. This is Working Class Man with the Englishman in Sweden on Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon. Great to be back.
Working hard to make a living, bringing shelter from the rain. My father's son left to carry on, blue denim in his veins. Oh, he's a working class man.
Australia and get the opportunity, to go and see him, do it, because he's just like monstrous. But listen, right, Runa sent, I got this from Runa, right, and this should put shivers down everybody's spine. It's quite a big file, so if you're not interested in what they're doing to us, then maybe go and get a cup of tea. But if you are interested, I should listen up, because this is in their own words. Are you ready for this? If 1 billion people stop eating meat, we're developing the ability to track consumers' carbon footprint, what they are eating, how they are travelling. Meat and dairy products should pay for the damage they cause. Every cup of coffee you drink harms the planet. Your future protein won't come from meat. It will for me, I can tell you now, because I ain't eating bugs. This isn't climate policy. It's a blueprint for monitoring, pricing and punishing every part of your daily life, food, travel, purchases, movement. Even what you drink in the morning. The World Economic Forum wants a world where your lifestyle is regulated, like a bank account, and where dissent is impossible because everything is tracked, scored and controlled. They call it sustainability, but we all know what it really is: compliance, surveillance, obedience. This gets even worse. The EU and Europe's elite have seriously started an indigenous war against Europe's original population. Western values, the Christian heritage of Europe, and the common sense of the people. So far, the war does not consist of physical weapons, with emphasis on yet. But it has long been placed beyond all doubt that the EU is at the frontier of increased control, reduced freedom of speech, limited exercise of faith, suppression of beliefs, extended climate control, and gradual Islamization. I don't think anybody can argue with this. In England, most things are on their way to hell. This is true. The following villages are now governed by Muslim mayors. Are you ready for this? London, Birmingham, Oxford, Luton, Blackburn, Sheffield and Brighton. This was made possible by only 4 million purposeful Muslims in a country of 68 million inhabitants. Over 2,000 mosques have been built. Over 100 Sharia courts have been established. And there are now over 50 Sharia councils across the country. Are you getting this? This is mental. 78% of Muslim women do not work, but live on government support, our taxes, and have free accommodation. The most common name in England today is Mohammed. Europeans are slowly but surely waking up and discovering that this is not about immigration. This is an invasion. I am a Dalek. You can't argue any of this. Muslim forces and organisations are becoming increasingly offensive, aggressive, threatening, prone to violence and intrusive. Islam is not a spectacle of life. It's an ideology, social changing occupation movement whose goal is to conquer and take over Europe. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? And you know, Islamism hate and despise Israel. Let's put to one side what we think about what's happening in Palestine, because I mean, in Palestine now there is a ceasefire, and the only people killing anybody are Hamas, and all the idiots with the scarves and the placards are still running around free Palestine. The sick Palestine, it's getting out of control, isn't it? The sick Palestine infiltrate is gaining an increasingly stronger foothold in society at large in the Western world. For example, the newly elected mayor of New York, Zohran Madami, has called for a global, he's calling for a global takeover. Teaching seats around the Western world are often overflowing with Palestine extremists. Muslim fundamentalists and historyless youth, because they don't teach in our schools anymore, do they? They don't teach what it was like, that our forefathers fought. They don't teach that, 600 years ago the Crusaders had to, whenever it was, the Crusaders had to go and halt Islam. They're taking over, and we're doing nothing about it. The EU and the elite of EU have made no secret of what their final goal for Europe is total control, obedience and submission. England's Prime Minister, our favourite, has also said a couple of weeks ago that digital ID will be introduced, and they want to demand this in order to get jobs and make money. But it's not, is it? It's not about jobs and money. It's just the beginning of what has already been decided by the EU, and we're left. It's control and tyranny. Will now only escalate until Agenda 2030. They also want to force on you a social score card where they can restrict your freedom of movement, your flying, your fuel consumption, your intake of expensive food, your cash possessions. This includes, amongst other things, a bill on prison sentence for cash usage. Can you imagine? Possession of over 10,000 Swedish krona. That's £1,000, give or take. And a number of other bizarre restrictions. They've already started with it. I see it on a daily basis. I can't buy fuel with cash. I can't. There's very, very few places that take cash. I was in a restaurant, and I'm going to name it because it's the worst restaurant I've been in for God knows how long. Pinchos, where you order like little. My daughter loved it. Little dishes, and you order a little dish in it, like fish and chips with 2 fish fingers with chips and a bit of something sprinkled on it. A steak with a corner piece of. One bite with 2 little squirts of mashed potatoes, and the whole concept is that you get little plates, and it costs 75 quid for me and a 9-year-old. When you've ordered it, if you change your mind, you can't. There's only one waiter who sits you at your table. You have to go and collect your food yourself, and they bring you a beer. And I ordered 1 small beer because I was driving, and here, if you drive, you're going to be in trouble if you drink. And they brought out like a massive thing that cost 16 quid, and I said I can't drink that. I didn't order that. I ordered a small beer. We only have one size beer, they said. It was the worst experience I've ever had. It was shocking. And you couldn't do anything. You have to order everything online. Just absolute. Just a snapshot of where we're going. As soon as you hear the word Agenda 2030 or decided goals in the news media, you should point your ears and listen extremely carefully. Where are Europe, Sweden and Britain really going? The experts expect major changes. Who are the experts? That's what I want to know. Who are the experts? I don't know. I don't know who they are. Major changes that will affect all parts of Swedish society and British and Europe. We are going to live in a society where everything and everyone can be connected. Within the industry, we see the digital twins resources optimize our production and our product. A burning topical question to hold Sweden's party leaders accountable for next year's parliamentary elections is whatever they will support. It's whether they will support Agenda 2030 fully or not. You know what? I won't support it. They can stick the digital ID where the sun don't shine, and say bank ID is already the norm over here, and you can't do anything without it. I've talked about this many times before, and I just fear for my children. But that is a guy called Rune Surgaard. You should give him a follow on social media. He's a really, really interesting guy. Time for some music to let that all digest. Go on, Brian and Tina, take it away. miss Tina, don't you? She was some act, wasn't she? Tina Turner. Whoa, proper. Some legs on her. I tell you what, though, have a check out Runa. It's interesting, and I think it's tragic where we are heading with this digital ID. It's just nah. I'm not having none of it. Excuse me. I say I'm back in Sweden, and seeing my kids is just awesome. And we're going to meet Luna today, but she's got a bit of a cold. So if you're listening, sweetheart, I love you. Now, I found it really interesting that Trump, for all his blasé, he's just blasted the UK, saying that we must deport illegal immigrants now and send in the military. I mean, he's done that in America, right? And I'm talking to a lot of people in America, and one of my friends is there at the moment, but is in Texas, which is Austin, Texas, and which is a Trump stronghold. And apparently, even the MAGA community are tiring of Trump. They're demanding that he releases all the Epstein files. And just the other day, 20,000 were leaked. And Trump is named numerous times, along with Blair, which it doesn't really surprise me. Hello, Graham, over in England, how are you? But, you know, I've been a Trump fan for ages. I've been in Trump Tower, I've got a Trump tie, I wrote a song for him, and I was first tipped off when I was sent Epstein's Black Book, one of them, and Trump and Ivanka and a few of the Trumps were mentioning that, and I named all those people the other week. I'm not doing it again because I'm bored of it. I'm bored of this subject. I just think that they should release them all. But 20,000 files have been dumped. And my biggest fear is that the most powerful man in the world is quite happy to start wars or World War III to get away from the fact that is named so many times in Epstein's memoirs and black books and whatever. I don't think he actually flew down on. He won't be on the flight log for the simple reason he took his own jet. So that's why he's not on the flight list, but is in the black book. Oh, Trumpy, what you done, mate? You know, for me, you were the last salvation. And the World Economic Forum hate you, but they've obviously got something on you. And I just think it's a shame that if he's on there, but there's, well, smoke without fire, I can't say that, because I had some horrible accusations levelled at me last year, which were all proven wrong, and some little weasel in England tried to stir it up again just the other day, but he got shut down very rapidly. You know who you are, and yeah, I'll be seeing you soon. But 20,000 documents have been leaked. Blair is in it many times. And Donald. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know, you've had many people stand up and protect you and stand up for your name. And a very good friend of mine, Steve the Entertainer, is down right now, as I said, in Austin, Texas, with his lovely lady friend, and he's been over there performing, and by all accounts is absolutely smashed Texas. Well done, Steve. When I come back, we've got so many things to get through, but for now I'm going to do you two in a row from my very good friend Steve the Entertainer, listening over there in the USA, saying that Trump's lost a lot of his following. And what happens in America, we get a cold from it. Here's Steve the Entertainer, The Kind of Love, Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon.
Yeah. We talk all night, even through the day. Your voice softly touches my brain. You say don't go crazy. I see the storms behind your eyes, the hidden wars you try to hide. I can't help loving you, Lord knows I've tried. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing, you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Is this the kind of love, or am I blind? Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault. I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this the kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been waiting for someone like you. Oh, you brighten up my day when I get a call. Time flashed away when I hear you. My mind goes crazy, full of things to say. So I'll make some songs, it's easier that way. You laugh when I say marry me, but one day you will see I'm just ahead of you, hoping you catch me. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing, you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault. I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this the kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been waiting for someone like you. Oh, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm mad, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm sad, but I know what I feel. I ain't no child. You got my emotion running wild. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing, you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Kind of love, or am I blind? Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault. I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this the kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been waiting for someone like you. I'm not saying this to make you crazy, and I don't want you to be sad. You can't help the way you feel. I told you I'll never lie to you. I always say what's true. Is this a kind of love? 'Cause I'm so in love with you.
Tell you guys, Go out and buy Steve the Entertainer's music. It's absolutely on a different level to most acts out there, which are making fortunes and are famous. But the thing is, Steve won't be owned, and he's doing it all by himself, and he's crushing. He's absolutely crushing it. He's absolutely crushing America. 2 in a row from him. From the album In the Loop, this is Afraid. Another brilliant track. Steve in Texas, say hello to your lovely missus. See you soon, brother. Find a bird for me. This is Englishman in Sweden. Actually in Sweden again, thank God. Lily's loving it, and I'm loving Steve the Entertainer's music. Don't change that tune. Good afternoon.
Just clicked to me today. I had a vision that blew me away. There was a moment I froze and stood still. I looked up and all around, nothing could be found but a pull from deep
In the Loop. Brilliant. Steve, the entertainer. Absolutely fabulous, fabulous music. A very good friend of mine. Enjoying life after having a really tough time. We worked together in Mallorca for many years. Good friend. And now finally, he's seen the light. He's in love with a beautiful Texas lady, and his music is flying. Support him. That's Steve the Entertainer. That last song was from In the Loop, and you can find him on all digital outlets and YouTube and other places. Now, before we get into Labour and the old slapper Angie from Gartsley State Rainer, UK schools ban kids from singing K-pop Demon Hunters songs, as it doesn't align with their values. But they can send the kids to a mosque and make them pray to a pedo, Allahu Akbar and all that. Come on, get a grip, Britain and Sweden. It's doing my bouncing now. You can't do a K-pop song, but you can kneel on a mat and block a road, and that's okay. That's totally against our values, Mr. Starmer. And by the way, what's happened with these rent boys of yours who, I think two of them get fined? Didn't two of them, I don't know if they've got jail or not, but they brushed it nicely under the carpet, didn't they? You know, smoke and mirrors, diversions, we don't want people to know what's happening. Keir Starmer is finished, is at an end, is done. And guess who's back? Angie from Council Estate. Aye. She's not paid her 40 grand she owes in taxes, no, but she apparently is gearing up to take on Keir in a leadership race. 18 months is it into this diabolical Labour government. Ed Miliband's wasted £70 billion on his poxy net zero drive, which is absolute load of crap. Apparently now we're heading into a new ice age. How's that going to play into the narrative? Even Billy Boy Gates has said that it's a hoax. He's even said that climate change isn't happening. He's finally realised that he's got to toe the line, and he said that, but Ed Miliband with his little red guitar, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Oh, what an embarrassment. Well, Angie, she's obviously done the council estate, £10 a pop. She's back, and she's angling up to be the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. You can't make it up, can you? You can't make it up. She's a tax dodger. She's a fraudster. She can't even speak. You've got David Lammy, who, well, the less we say about that moron, the better. I mean, the whole of Labour. Apparently, Angela Rayner is the most popular person in the Labour Party. That tells you all you need to know about the idiots who support Labour. Our country is in a state. It's in a diabolical state, as is Europe, overrun, taken over by Islamic thugs. In Britain, they're putting fighting age males who we've long suspected are soldiers into military barracks, and they're kicking out good, honest British people from the army accommodation. They're turning these barracks into little training camps for the invaders. Not that they need any help. We all know what they're up to, don't we? And it's just doing my bonzing now. It really is. It's getting to a point now where I really don't know what's actually going on anymore. It's just a big mess, isn't it? Eh? It really is. We're going to talk more about Labour and Angela Rayner when I get back. And we're going to do my bell end of the week. And this is a really big bell end this time. I mean, like 17.5 stone bell end. So if he's listening, I might be in trouble. But I don't really care, to be honest. Let's have a bit of Scissor Sisters. You're listening to Michael Dean, the Englishman in Sweden, on Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon, all of you. It's freezing cold here. It's absolutely freezing. But I don't care. I'm with my kids, and Lily's happy. Here we go, Scissor Sisters. shout out to all my friends in the LGBT plus XYZ 97 3000 community. You know, I don't want people to think that I'm anti or I'm homophobic, because I'm not. The godfather of my oldest daughter, gay as they come, good friend of mine. I've got a lot of friends in this trade that I've been involved in for the last 30 years, which is entertainment, and a lot of them are gay. I've got nothing at all against them. Whatever floats your boat, just get on with it. Just don't float it in front of me. And I'd like to say a big shout out to my friends who are Muslims. Yes, even though I'm classed as a far-right racist pig, which I'm not. I like eating pork, but I'm not a racist. Big shout out to me Muslim friends, and a big shout out to everybody, all my black friends, which I've got plenty of, my half-caste friends, which I've got plenty of, and a big shout out to all the white, heterosexual, middle-aged men. We are the most tormented, we are the most punished, we are the most detested breed on earth, and we only make up, I think, 8% of the world's population now. We're being eliminated, we're being exterminated. So enjoy life. That's what I say. And I'm enjoying mine. And I tell you who's enjoying their life. Vladimir Zelensky, or Volodymyr Zelensky, his little tight circle of friends and ministers are now accused of embezzling $100 million, a billion Swedish krona, while large parts of his country are suffering, while large parts of his country is being bombed, while many of his citizens are dying on the front line. Zelensky and co have pocketed what they've just found, $100 million. Now, Zelensky, that's his friends. Zelensky is rumoured to be over $1 billion now in offshore accounts. He's got 14 or 15 mansions, 2 super yachts, which are worth $80 million. He owns a casino. He bought a casino hotel in Cyprus. I know for a fact that's true. And, majority of 20 to 30-year-olds are wiped out, which means population control achieved in the Ukraine, because there's no men to impregnate the gorgeous women. And I know a few Ukrainian birds, and they are fit as you like. So are Russian birds. So are Swedish birds. And so are Latvian birds. I met a few Latvian birds when I was in Cyprus. They are bang tidy as well. But the thing is, in Ukraine, there's no men left. They've all been wiped out. We've got 30,000 British troops. Fact, you can argue with me. I was speaking to the mother of a soldier who was deployed in the Ukraine for 6 months and been now sent over to the Falklands, probably to keep him quiet. They're just itching for this proxy war, aren't they? It's not a war that can be won. NATO have been fighting Russia for over 2 years, and unless America throw all their might, and I mean all of their might, into it, then they're not going to beat Russia, are they? And the problem now is Trump is just indiscriminately murdering Venezuelans, because a lot of the drugs that come into America come from Venezuela. Pull me other leg and bells ring. It's a fact that they do, but the biggest killer of Americans in drugs is opioids. And where do the opioids come from? Yes, they come from China. Okay, so the EU are banning Timu, and Trump's is planning about invading. He's got the biggest, most advanced aircraft carrier in the world parked off the shores of Venezuela, and is blowing up these boats, so-called drug runners. But why doesn't he do the same to China? Because China are supplying the majority of opioids that are killing Americans. It's a matter of fact that old Trumpy boy is showing himself to be a bit of a bully now, isn't he? He's dropping down my pick list as being one of my favourite people, because he's not anymore. Leave the Venezuelans alone. Concentrate on stopping the war. Make sure that Zelensky and his mates don't keep pocketing millions and millions while we all suffer with infuriatingly high bills and cost of living. because of this stupid proxy war, which can't be won. And why don't you just try arresting these people in the Ukraine? Because we know that the CIA are down there. We know that British MI5 are down there. You can stop this war if you want to. But the fact of the matter is you don't want to stop it, do you? No, you don't. You're enjoying it, aren't you? And that's the tragedy of it all. A whole generation wiped out. And then they're going to try sending us lot and our kids in the coalition of the willing idiots. They can stick it where Ukrainian rent boys like to stick their thing, right up Keir Starmer's arse. Let's have a musical interlude. One of the great songs that this average band made, and they were average at best, but this is a great song. Let's take that.
Standing on the edge of forever, at the start of whatever, shouting love at the world. Back then, we were like cavemen, but we mapped the moon and the stars. Then we forgave them. We will meet you where the lights are, the defendants of the faith we are. Where the thunder turns around, they'll run so hard we'll tear the ground away. You know no one dies in these love drowned eyes. Through our love drowned eyes, we'll watch you sleep tonight. Although no one understood, we were holding back the flood, learning how to dance the rain. We were holding back the flood, they said we'd never dance again. Bleeding, but none of us leaving. Wash your mouth, son, or you'll find yourself floating home. Here we come now on a dark star, seeing demons, not what we are. Tiny minds and eager hands will try to strike, but now we'll land today. There's progress now, where there once was none, where there once was none, that everything came along. Although no one understood, we were holding back the flood, learning how to dance the rain. There was more of them than us, now they'll never dance again. Although no one understood, there was more of them than us, learning how to dance the rain. We were holding back the flood, they said we'd never dance again. We will meet you where the lights are, the defenders of the faith we are. Where the thunder turns around, they'll run so hard we'll tear the ground away. Although no one understood, there was more
best comeback by any group. Absolutely brilliant track. Brilliant track. It's an absolute peach of a tune, that, innit, eh? Well done, Take That. And Robbie, attention-seeking Robbie, I'm going blind because I'm on weight loss tablets or injections. Robbie, simple. Stop taking them. Hey, I mean, I'm getting fat and I don't care anymore. I'm 63. I've got my kids. I've lived my life. I've been around the world 6 times and many a beautiful person, woman. And Robbie, concentrate on making music. But that actual Take That, The Flood, what a brilliant track. That and Patience, 2 of the best songs they ever made. And 2 comebacks, really, innit? When Take That came back without 2 of them, and then when Take Back came back with Robbie in tow. Hey, by the way, we've got to just love Ricky Gervais. Have you seen these posters he's putting up in the underground? His latest one is about dogs, innit? If you don't like dogs, then you can do one. Fair play, Ricky. That's what I say. But let's get round to my bell end of the week. As per usual, there are plenty to choose between. Every single Labour politician, every single Labour voter, every single BBC presenter. Oh, I'm not even going to bother talking about the BBC because that should be shut down or it should be turned into a commercial channel so we don't have to tolerate the crap and the propaganda that they push. But let's get into the bell end of the week. There's only one clear winner. Anthony Joshua. AJ, realistically, even though you've got a bit of a chin, glass chin on you, that's been proven, I wouldn't like to fight with you, you're a big lad. But you are former, undisputed, heavyweight champion of the world. I went off you when you said during COVID, buy from black people's shops and don't go to white people's shops. I thought that was very racist of you. But, I saw past it because, you're British and you were the world champion. What's up, Lily? I'm just seeing my little girl making a little squeak. You're all right. Oh, it's your squeaky ball. But you're fighting Jake Paul. I'd fight Jake Paul. I'm 63. I've got MS, but I'm a warrior. I'd fight Jake Paul. I seriously would. Now, I understand £100 million. That's just about what Zelensky's mates have pocketed. But if you destroy your legacy and take a dive or let it go, the 8 rounds, whatever it's scheduled for, and destroy everything that you built, it will be an absolute travesty, and it shows that boxing has fallen so far now that nobody takes it seriously. I see that Usyk has given up his WBO title, is it? So we don't have to fight Wardley. And people are saying, it's because he's scared of him. No, he's done it so that Wardley wins it in a fight-off whoever he fights, and then Usyk becomes 3 times undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, bringing him into a totally different realm. So he'll be 4 times undisputed heavyweight champion, but cruiserweight and heavyweight champion 4 times undisputed, never done before. I think that's why he's doing it, so don't read into it what you don't, because I think Usyk is still the best of the bunch. But AJ, mate, don't be a knob, don't be a bell end. You were undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and now you're going to fight a YouTuber for £100 million, and it's going to be broadcast on Netflix. I mean, come on. You don't need the money, you're already minted. Preserve your legacy, and if you're going to fight this fella, knock him out with the first real punch you throw, and do us all a favour, because otherwise it's going to be a total and utter embarrassment, and it's going to finish heavyweight boxing. Pure and utter theatre and rubbish. Let's do this instead. Let's have a bit of Wendy James. Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon with the Englishman in Sweden. How you doing? Englishman and Wendy James's love back in the day. I think quite a lot of us smashed one off over that. Thank you, Wendy. And thank you for the fantasies. Have you seen her recently, though? Oh, looks like a crackhead. I shouldn't say things like that, but she does. Oh, you know, onto a serious note, the bus crash that happened in Östermalm, I don't know if you've followed that in Sweden. 3 people dead, a few seriously injured, and they're doing all the assessments now, and it looks like a acute sickness affected the driver, and that's what caused the accident, and my condolences and thoughts are with all involved. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Double-decker bus just playing into people, and yeah, it's horrible, horrible, horrible. 3 dead, some still seriously injured. You know, Sweden, you lucky sods. You got a free pass, didn't you, to the playoff for the World Cup, and you're going to need divine intervention if you're going to make it, because Potter is absolutely useless. He is. I watched him at West Ham, and he is tactically less talented than my dog. She's playing with the ball now, and I think she's got more knowledge to football than he has. And he got the job apparently because he brought a low-level Swedish team up into the Allsvenskan, which is the equivalent of the Premier League, but it's not actually. It's about Division 2, and they got hammered, totally plastered by Switzerland, and they're playing Slovenia tonight. It's worth watching just to see all the birds in the crowd, to be honest, because it's more interesting than the football. But they've got a free pass to the playoff finals, and I really hope that they pull a miracle out the bag, because, you know, a World Cup and your country's not involved in it, it's a lot. It's a loss of the good time, the good feeling, the good vibes, and we all need good vibes, don't we? We really do, especially here in Sweden and Europe in general, because, you know, there's only been, I think, 4 bombs, actual registered bombs, so far this month in Sweden, and 7 shootings, which is low by the standards that Sweden's accustomed to. But what there has been is a lot of fires, arsonist fires, and they're not even making the tabloids or the news, you know, the propaganda channels. Now, I know for a fact that house burned down in Hoggines because it was opposite one of my daughter's friends' house, and it just went up in flames. And unfortunately, well, they were lucky to get this. Listen, they were lucky to get out because the dog woke them up. And there's a couple of kids in the house, and mum and dad, and thankfully they got out. It was started, and it's not made the news, because I think now they realise that people are so sick and tired of this continual barrage of bombs and shootings and rape and fires. But obviously they've run out of grenades, they've run out of incendiary devices, so they've resorted to good old fuel and a match. Now the thing is, once again, for the 4th time in as many weeks, the idiots who started the fire got the wrong address. They got the wrong house again. I mean, how stupid are these people? Thankfully they got out. Unfortunately, the cat died. Cats, you know, they have this sixth sense, don't they? And I tried to flee or went and hid somewhere, and the cat died, but the dog woke up the family, and they all survived. But what I want to know is, why aren't they reporting it anymore? Why aren't they, you know, coming out and saying these fires are now being started because they've run out of material to bomb? Instead, they're just pushing the propaganda about Ukraine. They're pushing the propaganda about a new strain of COVID and another type of Ebola. We all know that it's BS, don't we? We all know it's BS. We do. We know. Oh, that's Potter playing with his ball. Can you hear it squeaking away in the background? And we know they're going to attempt another coup on our freedom, and then they're going to try and introduce digital ID all across Europe, the digital currency, and in Britain, you know, I'm just sick and tired of it. I really am sick and tired of it. And I think one more massive attack by the elite and people are going to wake up. That's what I actually think. And I'm more interested about sharing happy music to counteract the depression of living today. Here's Texas. Great song. Welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio with me, Michael Dean, the Englishman in Sweden. Broadcasting from Sweden. Here's Texas. I want a lover, I don't want a friend. Trust me. I want a lover. Great band, great song. Oh, bring back those days when we were all happy together. Once upon a time we were, you know. We were happy once upon a time. All of us, weren't we? I've got problems now. Sorry, John, I've got problems with this sound again. Oh, we're having technical issues with the worldwide broadcasting network, actually. It always seems to fall down on me, but never mind. I just soldier on. You know, just a little interesting thing that I've just picked up here. Ukrainian or Ukrainer has been pointed out as the suspect saboteur on the Polish railway system. Now then, this person should have been in collaboration with Russland. I don't think that happened. This is coming from Reuters that the sabotage on the Polish rail network was carried out by a Ukrainian. So there you go. Zelensky's taking all the money. They're doing things to Poland. He's so desperate to try and drag everybody into this poxy war, isn't he? Hey, it really is. Zelensky, do one. Get in your Bugatti. Take your mates with you. Go to do a world tour of all your fancy properties that you've pocketed since you became Prime Minister. Now you're not even elected. Your mandate went out, but because it's war, they can't have an election, and the Ukrainian people can't stand you. I know that for sure, because I've got Ukrainian friends. They can't stand him. They want him gone. Gone. But, you know, this back to all these fires in Sweden. There's another one raging right now. Another fire raging right now in Sweden. And they don't know why. All these fires are happening. I know why it's happening, because they can't get the war materials, because obviously someone in the Swedish military has probably been arrested and he can't pass it on, because as I said a few weeks back, they found 2 cars with 100 grenades in 2 cars. And the fire that's going on now is in it's a house in a row of houses in Torsas, and it's a massive risk of it spreading. And this is middle of the day. I mean, in Sweden now we're on 20 to 5, and they're not even bothering if it's night time, and they're not even trying to hide. These people are just coming in and they're doing the dirty work of some gang leader, and who knows if it's a right or wrong address, I don't know. But that's, I think, the 11th fire in 2 months. It seems to be the new preferred way of attacking people. Burn the house down or blow up their apartment. I don't know, it's all a mess, isn't it? Hey, but AJ, do me a favour, mate. I think it's embarrassing that you're fighting. I think it's embarrassing that you're fighting Jake Paul. I really do. I think it's like it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. But here, let's have this one. I think about Kerry every time I hear this brilliant Cher impersonator I work with in Cyprus, walking in Memphis.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touched down in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. WC Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a girl can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis. I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland. Watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him. They just hovered around his tomb. There's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? Walking in Memphis. They got catfish on the table. They got gospel in the air. Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. Boy, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Gabriel plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see him. They asked me if I would do a little number, and I sang with all my mates. He said, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" And I said, "Man, I am tonight." Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, do I really feel the way I feel? Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Put on my blue suede shoes.
Go on, Cher. You know, I'm 63, and I could be her toy boy. I won't mind either way. Go on. She's well fit, isn't she? You know, tonight I'm going to... So I should have been having Luna around, but she's, poor little thing's got a cold. And tomorrow is my daughter Liv's birthday. Happy birthday, Liv. Love you. Wonderful to see you yesterday and see you again tomorrow, hopefully. And Zoe's got a job. Well done, you. And Saga's got a job. And all my kids are doing great. And I mean, the main reason I moved back here is because of the troubled times that Sweden's facing. And so tonight I'm going to sit and watch Sweden against Slovenia. I think they're playing. They'll probably get hammered because Potter's in charge and Porter is absolutely useless. But I'm going to watch that and have a couple of Small Lands beers and make myself nice cod and chips with nice. I'm going to do that. I've bought in the cod because I know Luna loves to have cod and you can't leave it in the fridge or freezer, so I'm going to have to cook it. So me and Lily will share it. But you know, I'd say I came back here because of the absolute horrifying figures of rape and violence, which is an epidemic here in Sweden, and I think it's a dad's duty to be near the kids. And hello Germany, guten Abend, alles gut, alles klar, and hola, buenos dias to the listeners in Spain. Hope you're all alright, and of course United Kingdom. How you diddling all of you? This is your favourite Mr. Marmite, the man you all love to hate, because I don't give two monkeys what I say. I say things as I see it and I report it as it should be, not through the filters of a BBC propaganda machine or SVT in Sweden or TV4. That's just the way I roll. But you know, going back onto just loosely chatting now about digital ID and the bank ID, as we call it in Sweden, which is, I was talking with a guy on the aeroplane, a really nice guy, who he got a problem with a growth in his stomach after the COVID injection, nearly died. We sat next to each other, me, had a great chat at his business, animal lovers. They're wanting to move away from Sweden because of the violence, and I said, well, I'm moving back because of the violence to be near my kids and assist them and be a protector in any way I can. And when I got back, I said, well, I've told you about up and coming over the border. Then I had to register with the Skatteverket, as it's called here, through my bank ID. I had to put my personal details in, and I had to notify them that I've moved. And you do that through bank ID. And then I bought a car, and I got insurance, and you have to do that through bank ID. So they're using the expression bank ID because then you think it's to do with the bank, which it is, because the bank is owned by the World Economic Forum, by Wallenberg. And every single thing you do open your bank ID. I got this app where you can park your car, and because now they don't take any machines with cash anymore, so if you don't have a card you can't park your car. And 2 days ago I saw this company that run one of the parking locations drove by, didn't get out of his car, he just pointed his phone at the cars and it beeped to see if people had got the parking, paid for the parking. He stopped at the car park next to me and he gave him a ticket for 50 quid. Got back in his car, drove to the next one, beep, 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 and luckily I got my parking ticket. But to get this app, you have to put your details in, and you've got it, you have to open bank ID. So every time I do that, the government know exactly what I'm doing, even though they know already they can track our phones, but this is going to a new level. So every day, without fail, I had to go to the doctors, to the neurologist, and you open with your bank ID. They then put me on to the hospital in Malmo, which is or Lund, not somewhere you want to go when you've got any type of illness, because that's where they send you when you're knocking on heaven's door. And you have to use bank ID. And it's like, come on, and you can't spend cash. This is a society that we are now living in Sweden. But, there's nothing I can do about it individually. And I might moan a bit about it, but I just want to wake people up to the realisation of what's actually happening in our countries. And I don't care what they do, what they say to me. I'm staying here for my kids, and I've got a beautiful home, and it's really private and really quiet, which is suiting me and Lily. We're seeing deers every day. There's a couple of wolves around, so I've got to be careful with her, because a doggo, even though a brilliant hunting animal, would have absolutely zero chance against a wolf. So I'm being very careful about that. Then that's the sort of wildlife we've got here. Tomorrow, apparently, it's going to snow. I so want it to. I so want to see Lily's reaction to snow. I've got my winter tyres on, and yes, I changed the winter tyres, and guess what? You got it right. I had to use my bank ID. So everything you do is connected to bank ID, and the infrastructure is built in Sweden, quite ready just to switch over to digital ID, and they will. The whole of Europe is on a slippery slope into hell, and Tony Blair, Lucifer himself, is behind it all. When I come back, we're going to talk about Angela Rayner, the slapper from the cards list, our Angie. I shouldn't talk about her like that, because she's a northerner, and I know it upsets a few northerners when I go on about that. But I mean, come on, she's a tax fraud, she's a cheat, she's a liar, and she's gearing up to be the next Prime Minister. Angie, this is for you. I think there's a few pictures of you in compromising positions. Say Duran Duran on Dreamcatcher Radio. Hello.
On her back, that's the rhythm.
Now, I've still got to ask Simon Le Bon, what the hell are you doing in Epstein's book? Brian Ferry in Epstein's book, Simon Le Bon in Epstein's book. Why? Why? Why are you in Epstein's book? I'd just like a simple explanation if it was to invest money or if it's because you're a wrongin', Simon. Answers on a postcard, please. Would much appreciate an answer. Right, Angela Rayner. Right, seriously. Angela Rayner. Tax fraud, liar, slapper, resigned or pushed out of the Labour Party because of her outrageous fraud. That's all it is. She defrauded the state for the £40,000 that was due on her home, which she signed over to a trust fund to a handicapped child. Apparently her and Keir have fallen out. No surprise there, is there? How anybody can put up with Keir Starmer, I'll never know. But she's coming back and they reckon she's going to run to be the new Prime Minister of England or Britain. God help us all. That's all I can say. Let's have some White Snake. Well, me doing White Snake. Hey, Lily.
I was born during a bad time, looked out in the cold. I'm a lonely man who knows what it means to
Yeah, that was me. So, stop it. Bugger off, I don't want to play that. That was me doing a bit of the old Mr. Coverdale, vocal god, who's officially retired, which is a shame. We're going to miss you, David. Some amazing songs, some an amazing vocalist, and I'm not putting myself in the same category, but if you want to enjoy yourselves this Christmas, come and watch me at Hufshalle, the 28th and 29th of November, the 5th and 6th of December, the 12th and 13th, I'm at the Star of the East and East Ham Club in the East End, and then the 19 and or 20 and 21, or 19 and 20, I don't know, in Vinyl in Hampstead, and on the 14th we're doing the charity event, hopefully raising good money to feed kids who are underprivileged and buy these kids Christmas presents, because every child deserves a present at Christmas. That's just my opinion. You know, keep yourselves dialed in to Dreamcatcher Radio. It's without doubt the most diverse radio station on the wavelengths. Thank you so much for listening to me. I wish you all a wonderful week, and speak to you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Englishman in Sweden, over and out. Here's Robert Palmer, bless him. He's gone as well, isn't he? Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next Tuesday. Broadcasting live from Sweden. Come on, Sweden, tonight. Win a game for a change. Give the country something to smile about. Toodaloo. And who knows, maybe I'll see you in Spain next year. I'm not decided yet. Ta-da. Watch this space. I know I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm getting treatment for my MS. God bless you all. Stay safe. Thanks for listening. Ta-da. Be good. You can't be good. Be very dirty.